everybody, welcome back to Chalkboard Yoga Studies. I'm Jacob Kyle. If you're just joining us for the first time this week, Chalkboard Yoga Studies is where I unpack a different concept from the yoga tradition each week in an effort to educate the community and help bring maybe some of those Sanskrit words that you've heard in class, try to make them a little more familiar to you because they don't often get, explained so often in a yoga class. They just get sort of dropped and so the beginners tend to be a little confused or aren't quite sure, what's going on. So that's kind of the purpose behind these chats. Now, I wanted to actually get a little bit back to basics, so to speak, this week. I was having a conversation with my friend Patricia Pinto, and she was remarking on how she really enjoyed these studies, these Chalkboard Yoga studies, but that maybe it would be good to include a few of the, not necessarily basic, but maybe more familiar Sanskrit terms. And there is nothing really more familiar, I would say, to us than Om, the syllable Om. Now, it might be very familiar to you, but perhaps you haven't heard kind of the philosophy behind it because there is a very rich philosophy that's really rather interesting. Now, the Om syllable is the pranava mantra, and pranava means cosmic sound. And when we think of Om and when we pronounce Om, we're actually pronouncing it oftentimes with a closed lip M sound, and this is actually not correct in terms of the Sanskrit pronunciation because the Om sound, this particular letter is an NG sound. It's a palatal sound, and so it's more like a with the lips open than an sound. And the reason for that is that when you chant Om, you're looking for this sort of rising resonance of vibration that goes all the way up sort of from the belly around the heart area and up to the crown of the head. And that corresponds to a certain symbolism, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So Om, I've used the three-lettered spelling rather than the OM spelling because the three letters correspond also to the symbolism that we're going to talk about, as does the Sanskrit syllable for Om, which I've written here on the board. So Om, cosmic sound, the cosmic vibration. So we talked a little bit the other day about Atman and Brahman, and so Om is Brahman in sonic form. And that's significant because in the yoga tradition, in the Hindu tradition, the universe, everything that exists is vibration. So when we chant Om, we're really chanting that which is the source of all vibration. It's both the source of all vibration and it's also contained in every aspect of existence. So you and I are an expression of Om, the table is an expression of Om, the floor, the birds, the bees, the trees, everything is Om. So it is both the source of all existence and it is also contained in all existence. It is both transcendent and also immanent. Okay? So that's sort of the idea of Om as the primordial vibration, the primordial sound that we are all a part of. It's this kind of syllable of unity, this sound of the unified reality of all existence. But then, when we break down the letters of Om, it corresponds to what are called the four realms of waking, or the four states of awareness. A, the sound, it's more of an than an corresponds to the waking state, or Jagrat. And the waking state, ironically, is actually, according to the tradition, the least awake state. Because the waking state is a state of duality where before the spiritual path, we are really, we think of things as separate from ourselves. So there's me as a subject and the objects are outside of me. And so, and we can get lost or absorbed in this phenomenal world. And that is the Jagrat state, is the state that we're in when we're waking, navigating the world, talking to friends and doing this, that, and the other. Then is, or really, this is is the dream state, or Svapna. Svapna, the dream state, is really the state of the subtle body, the energetic body. So if you were to think about the chakras and also the imprints, the storehouse of all of the impressions, the memories, this is Svapna. This is the level of awareness of Svapna. And of course, that feeds into our interactions at the state of Jagrat. But of course, all of these, we won't get too much into this, but all of these states permeate the other states in a certain way. Okay? So we've got the waking, the dream state, And then the dreamless state, or the deep sleep state, Shushupti, is the state of non-duality but without any self-awareness. So, you know, if you're sort of spacing out, you know, you see this a lot with children. Children just kind of, all of a sudden, they're spacing out, and they're not really thinking about anything. Just in the same way that you would maybe go to sleep and you're not, and you fall into this deep dreamless sleep, and you wake up and you 12 hours could have gone by and you wouldn't know about it. It went by just like that. That's what deep sleep is. Now, beyond the third state of awareness is the fourth, or Turya. And this is what we would call samadhi, or absorption in the pure subjectivity, pure self-awareness without duality. So existing within, or arriving in that place that we refer to as Purusha, the Atman, our true self, is the Turya state, the fourth state. So these four states also correspond to the symbolism on the Ong Sanskrit symbol, which is super interesting. So we've got the waking state here, this first curve. We've got the second curve, which corresponds to the dream state. And then we've got the third state up here that corresponds to the dreamless state, the sound. And then this sort of fourth syllable, which I'll refer to the silence beyond Ong. So after you chant Ong, and the silence sort of reverberates after that final audible component, that is the fourth state. So you always want, when you're chanting Ong, to kind of be present for that fourth kind of sound of non-sound beyond the Ong. And that's that's the fourth, the bindu point here, the dot. Okay? Then there's also the beyond the fourth state, which Kashmir Shaivism talks a lot about. And that's really to understand that it's when the fourth state, our pure awareness, our true self, permeates all the other states. So sometimes if you think, okay, I'm going to this state of pure awareness beyond the world, or beyond understanding or being in the phenomenal world, I can kind of think maybe that the spiritual path is all about getting away from the world. But in Kashmir Shaivism, what's so interesting is that the beyond the fourth state is where my understanding of my true self permeates all of these other states, so that when I am engaging in the phenomenal world, I am also residing in a state of pure awareness. So I can engage with the world around me, but I understand that I am ultimately interconnected with that everything I perceive in the world is a reflection of myself. So I think that's a really crucial aspect, is that beyond the fourth state, which is referred to as Turyatita. Well, that's all for today, friends. Thanks so much for joining us for another Chalkboard Yoga Studies. If you haven't yet signed up for our weekly e-zine, where you get these videos to your inbox weekly, along with some incredible Dharma talks by Jimmy Nataraj, and also some of our most recent writings from the website, you can go to 5tattvas.com/signup. That's fivetattvas.com/signup. And you can sign up for the e-zine there. Also, if you haven't signed up for a free unlimited membership to the website, where you can go on our website and get access to our audio archives, the archives of these videos, including, and also some of the archives of all of our writings, you can also go to 5tattvas.com/unlimited and sign up for a membership there as well. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Asatoma